In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on January 31st, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Northwestern versus Purdue. The upcoming matchup between the number 2 Purdue Boilermakers and the Northwestern Wildcats is poised to be an intriguing encounter, marking their second conference battle of the season. The Boilermakers, currently on a formidable 5-game win streak, recently secured a hard-fought 68-60 victory against Rutgers. Meanwhile, Northwestern enters this clash with a 2-game winning streak, having dominated the Ohio State Buckeyes with an impressive 83-58 triumph. The stage for this conference showdown is set at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. A pivotal element adding to the anticipation of this game is Purdue's earlier setback against Northwestern in Evanston on December 1st, where they succumbed to a defeat in overtime. Now, 2 months later, the Boilermakers have the opportunity to seek redemption on their home turf, where they remain undefeated this season. Matt Painter's squad has showcased dominance in their last 4 home Big Ten victories, covering the spread and winning by an average margin of 16 points in those conference games. The timing of this matchup could favor Purdue, considering Northwestern's recent commanding 25-point home victory over Ohio State, contributing to the Wildcats' 5 wins in their last 7 games. In the initial encounter between these teams, the Wildcats displayed impressive shooting percentages, hitting 47% from the field and an astonishing 50% from beyond the 3-point arc as a team. However, regression may be anticipated in the upcoming game in West Lafayette. Purdue, despite a subpar performance in the previous matchup, particularly excelled on the boards, largely thanks to a remarkable 35-point, 14-rebound contribution from Zach Edey. Notably, Purdue's guards are expected to perform better on their home court, and the Boilermakers, boasting one of the best strength of schedules in the country, maintain a top 3 offense and a top 10 defense according to various analytics sites. The Purdue Boilermakers have been virtually unstoppable on their home court, boasting an undefeated record this season and an impressive 15-game win streak. With momentum firmly on their side, having clinched victory in their last 5 contests, Purdue is positioned as the second highest scoring offense in the Big Ten, averaging 85 points per game. While their defense allows 69 points per game, the team's balance is evident. Of particular note is Zach Edey, a 7 for center, who dominates the paint with an average of 23 points per game and an outstanding 35-point performance against Northwestern. The Wildcats, who have struggled in away games, face a formidable challenge against the Boilermakers on their home turf. Entering this game with a 5-game winning streak, Purdue is motivated to avenge their earlier loss to Northwestern, where the Wildcats secured an overtime victory with a scoreline of 92-88 on December 1st. Playing at home, Purdue faces a Northwestern team that has struggled on the road, with a 1-3 record in their last 4 away games and a noticeable weakness in rebounding. Despite the rarity of laying many points in a game between Power 5 teams, the matchup between Northwestern and Purdue presents a compelling opportunity. Purdue's established position as one of the top 2 to 3 teams in the country makes them a strong contender, so the Purdue Boilermakers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In addition to the game side pick, there is a favorable outlook for the over in West Lafayette on Wednesday night. Both teams showcase excellence on the offensive end, with Purdue possessing the second-best offense in terms of offensive efficiency, scoring 125 points per 100 possessions. Northwestern follows closely, ranked 31st and averaging 116 points per 100 possessions. The first meeting between these teams ended in a high-scoring 92-88 affair favoring the Wildcats in overtime. Considering Purdue's consistent scoring at home, with the lowest point total in 10 home games being 80 points, the stage is set for a high-scoring battle between these dynamic offenses. Thus, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Alabama versus Georgia. On Wednesday night, the Southeastern Conference will witness an exciting clash as the number 24 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide boasting a commendable record of 14 wins and 6 losses, embarks on a road trip to face off against the Georgia Bulldogs, currently holding a parallel record of 14-6 with a conference standing of 4-3 in the Southeastern Conference. The Crimson Tide's recent performance against LSU was nothing short of spectacular, securing a resounding 109-88 victory and surpassing expectations with a 12.5-point spread as favorites on their home turf. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs, despite a shootout in their previous game against Florida, succumbed to a 102-98 defeat in overtime but managed to cover the 8.5-point spread. This season, the two teams will engage in a singular encounter with the backdrop of Alabama's dominant 49-point victory in the previous year's matchup on their home court. In the previous season's meeting, the Tide displayed dominance over the Bulldogs, claiming a decisive 108-59 victory while holding an 18.5-point advantage as home favorites. The current season portrays a closer competition, with Alabama maintaining an 11-8-1 against the spread record, slightly edging out Georgia's 10-9-1 against the spread performance. Notably, the Bulldogs have encountered challenges against formidable offenses in the conference, allowing 105 points to Kentucky and 102 points to Florida. Facing the top-ranked offense in Alabama, the Bulldogs are anticipated to confront similar defensive struggles. Historical data supports this expectation, as evidenced by Alabama's convincing performance in the previous season. Furthermore, the Crimson Tide holds a 6-4 against the spread record in their last 10 encounters with Georgia. Alabama's offensive prowess has been evident in their recent performances, notably scoring 109 points against LSU. Drawing parallels between the defensive efficiency of LSU and Georgia, Alabama's offensive capabilities are poised to present a formidable challenge. In the previous game, all 5 scorers for the Tide contributed over 12 points, showcasing a balanced and high-speed attack that poses difficulties for opposing defenses. Mark Sears, leading the conference in scoring, anchors an impressive lineup of role players capable of three-point shooting, including the physical presence of big man Nelson around the rim. In contrast, Georgia heavily relied on a remarkable 35-point performance from Melendez off the bench to stay competitive against Florida, a feat unlikely to be replicated. With Alabama possessing the nation's top-ranked offense, they seek respect and a higher position in bracketology. Georgia's 84th ranked defense aligns with the overarching theme that they may struggle to score sufficiently, making the Alabama Crimson Tide to win and cover the spread as favorites our full-game side pick. Even in the aftermath of Georgia's meager 59-point performance in the previous year's meeting, the combined score reached 167 points, surpassing the 154-point total for an over. The anticipated offensive improvement from Georgia in this matchup contrasts with expectations of defensive stability. Alabama has consistently breached the 100-point mark in 3 of their last 9 games and surpassed 82 points in 5 games during that span. Georgia's inconsistent offense has witnessed surges, scoring over 90 points in 4 of their last 10 games. Over the course of the season, 24 games between these teams have resulted in hitting the over. In the last 10 meetings, the over has prevailed in 7 out of 10 instances. Analyzing the game dynamics, various factors signal a fast-paced contest. Alabama, ranking 20th in the nation in pace of play, showcases a high-tempo style with scorers and shooters strategically positioned on the court. Georgia, ranking 87th, also adopts a fast-paced approach, making them one of the swifter teams in the nation among the 362 Division I teams. Furthermore, offensive efficiency favors both teams, with Alabama leading the nation and Georgia holding the 84th rank. However, Alabama's defensive efficiency, positioned at 66, suggests vulnerability. Aligning with these indicators, recent trends favor the over, with Georgia exceeding the total in 4 of their last 5 games, complemented by Alabama's overperformance in 4 of their last 5. Consequently, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Florida versus Kentucky. The upcoming Southeastern Conference showdown between the Florida Gators and the Kentucky Wildcats is set to unfold on Wednesday night as the Gators make their way to the Bluegrass State. Currently boasting a season record of 14 wins and 6 losses, the Gators have shown prowess with a 4-3 standing in conference play. On the other side, the Wildcats hold a season record of 15 wins and 4 losses, with an impressive 5-2 record in Southeastern Conference play thus far. The initial clash between these two teams was a tale of contrasting halves. In the first half, the Wildcats found themselves trailing by 8 points, courtesy of a scorching performance from the Florida team, which included an impressive 8 of 2-0 success rate from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, the Wildcats struggled, hitting only one of 10 three-point attempts. However, they managed to bounce back in the second half, going 4 of 10 from long range. Despite the initial setback, Kentucky displayed superiority with a more efficient offense and an underutilized yet effective three-point game. In the rebounding department, they held their own against the conference's top rebounding team, losing marginally at 43-40. Florida, though typically prone to turnovers, improved slightly, losing the turnover battle 11-9. Anticipating a return to their usual performance in the rematch, both teams are gearing up for a competitive face-off. Apart from a slight hiccup against UNC Wilmington, Kentucky has been formidable on home turf, boasting a 10-1 record with an average margin of victory at an impressive plus 19.5 points per game. The aura of Rupp Arena continues to make it one of the most challenging venues for opponents, and there are doubts about Florida's ability to contend in this environment. The Gators have faced struggles away from home this season, managing a 5-5 record straight up and a less impressive 3-6-1 against the spread and away and neutral site games. A critical factor in their potential downfall is the lack of trust in their defense to make crucial stops, ranking a modest 99th in defensive efficiency, allowing 102 points per 100 possessions. With these factors in play, the odds seem stacked against Florida in their quest for victory. Despite possessing offensive firepower capable of causing an upset on the road, the Gators have yet to convincingly demonstrate it. Kentucky holds a dominant record in recent matchups, winning 9 out of the last 10 meetings, including an upset on the road earlier in the month. Kentucky's balanced team with higher upside, combined with home court advantage, where they boast an 11-1 straight-up record, positions them as the favored team. While Florida often competes with Kentucky, it may not be sufficient to secure a win. Recognizing Florida's offensive talent, the lingering concern is their defensive performance, which has been subpar in the conference. The Wildcats' performance at Rupp Arena presents a different challenge, and doubts linger regarding the Gators' endurance over a full 40 minutes. With a 10-1 home record this season, Kentucky is poised to hold the upper hand against a Gators team that has secured victory only once away from home. Therefore, the Kentucky Wildcats to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In a noteworthy observation, the upcoming matchup features the highest total ever seen in a college basketball game. While both offenses are known for their efficiency and pace, the total surpassing 170 points raises concerns. The challenge lies in expecting everything to align perfectly to surpass this high number. The decision is made to err on the side of caution, considering the possibility of one of the offenses having an off night or opting for a slower pace. The previous head-to-head matchup resulted in an 87-85 Kentucky win, equating to 172 points, explaining the elevated total. However, a reluctance to invest in an over ticket at such a high number leads to our full game total pick leaning towards the under. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.